because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So, go to college, and the funny thing is I remember my junior year when you meet with your academic advisor.
Yeah.
And I'd done it years before, but I just always went through the motions.
Yeah.
You know, tell me what classes I need, and
Yeah.
but they give you this list, and you got like all these classes
Yeah.
you got to take. Well, you're taking them, and you got to do what you got to do to pass your classes because you got to have a certain amount of play.
Absolutely right.
And so I remember sitting down there my junior year. She said, "Well, Mark, you got like 8 classes left." I was like, "For what?" "Well, 8 classes, you'll be good. You're ready to graduate." I remember thinking, I'm gonna get a degree. And you kind of knew you would in the back of your mind, but it wasn't what you thought about every day.
Absolutely right.
And then I started thinking about all of the things that being an athlete and the hard work that you put in provided for me along the way. And now as I look back too, you almost wish you would have appreciated those life tools that it was giving you along the way. Because you're so focused on being a major league ball player.
That's it. That one thing.
And you didn't appreciate as much as you should have what you were going through and what you were learning at that time.
Mm-hmm.
All you want to do is badmouth coach.
That's it.
Because he was all over you because you took your first 2 business calc tests and you bombed one of them. Got to C on the next one.
Yep.
And he's riding you.
Yep.
But he knew. And you trust him, and you wish you had the intuitive knowledge to at that time to look around.
Yeah.
Because it's special. It's really special.
Wow. Speaking of coaches,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of times coaches ride us, and when you're around your teammates, "Oh, coach said this, coach said that. I can't stand coach."
Yeah.
When you look back at it now, what's your thought process on that?
He's like a father, man. The head coach is the most talked about and hated guy in the organization. And when you look back now, it was because he was making you do the things that you knew you needed to do, but you didn't want to do them at that time.
Come on.
He knew he had your best interest.
Yes.
And all he was doing was instilling you with these life traits that you need. At the time, you thought he just needed something to fill some time.
That's it.
Why are you making us do this, man? We just pulled off 12 wins in a row. Why in the world are we still out here, running hills?
Yes.
But they were mental conditioning days and training. It was getting, pushing your body further than you can go.
Yeah.
That's what he was teaching us.
Yeah.
That power of one more.
Yeah. That's it.
Your mind's going to tell you ain't got one more.
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So, that's what they're instilling in you.
So we never even think about it.
Not till now.
Not to now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right about that, man. So once you look back at sports, now that you're done playing,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say are some key things that you learned from sports that you took away from the game?
Well, being a student athlete, first and foremost is your time management. You're up at 5, go to the weight room.
Yeah, very true.
Sometimes you shower at the weight room because you got an early class.
Very
you
true.
got back-to-back classes. You figure out a lunch. You go to one more class. You go to the ball field. God forbid that night it's a 7 o'clock game and it wasn't just practice, you had a game that night. And you're at the ballpark till 10:30. Well, then you go home, and then at that point you've got to start your studies where just a student started at 3 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's 10:30 now.
Yes, sir.
And I got to get back up at 5 again.
Yes, sir.
You got to learn how to manage your time. You got to learn how to fuel your body. You got to learn, are you getting to sleep? Are you getting nutrition? There's so many other things that you've got to put in the equation
Yeah.
that take it back to now. You make sure you're prepared. I said, the separations and the preparation.
Yeah.
Heck, I find myself now, I lay my clothes out before when I go to bed.
Yeah.
I know when I get up, feet's got to hit the ground just like it did then.
Yeah.
But my feet hit the ground then because I had to be in the weight room.
Yes.
My feet hit the ground now because that's how you win. Going to the weight room was how you won, but I didn't see it like that.
Yeah.
So, it teaches you to be a fierce competitor. Not one. When I say fierce, why we do what we do.
Yes.
Fierce. I'm not saying that you're mean in any way.
Right.
It means that a person who competes with themselves has another level of competition that people don't even understand. You're no longer competing against other people. It looks like you're on the surface, but you're competing against yourself.
That's wrong.
And your why becomes different. You transition into life, and your why is, your family. My beautiful wife. And for so long, chasing to be a major league ball player was a why.
Yeah.
And it taught you how to look to your why, to, when you need the inspiration.
Yeah.
But when you have a family and a wife to support,
that why get a whole lot bigger, a whole lot stronger, a whole lot more meaningful.
Easy to do what you do. It's easy to go out there and compete because for your first 20-something years of your life, it's all you know. And it's all you're ever going to know.
Mm-hmm.
So some would even say that transitioning into the workplace, I'd probably say this too. I don't want to use the word it's easier because it's not that it's easy, but it's different.
I would go as far as saying it's easier.
It is. I remember. You go to work, kill it at work.
Yeah.
You win the day.
Yeah.
And then when you go home at 4 or 5 o'clock, so that's it.
That's it. That's why I would say it was easier.
I was trying to figure out what to do with all my time.
Exactly. That's honestly why I would say it was easier.
It really was. It's there's no other way to learn that.
Yeah.
There's no other way to learn that other than living and breathing that lifestyle for so many years. It's yeah.
This is what I want to challenge the people watching this, because like you say, it's no other way to learn it. But how many athletes do you feel take that away from the game and actually able to apply it once they're out of the athletic setting? Because honestly,
I'd like to say a lot, but well, Derek, there's we all played with ball players who didn't have a whole lot of talent, but they worked their behind off.
very true.
And sometimes they had no reason playing, but they did because coaches trusted them.
Yep.
They knew they were going to play hard.
Yep.
And we all know that guy who was the most talented guy in the room.
Absolutely right.
Who it was always said, man, if they had the heart of the guy we were just talking about, it'd be unreal.
Unreal.
But that ain't how it works. So that's why I said I'd like to say a lot of people transition like that, but who was there with you? Either your college years, did you have that coach that was teaching you them life lessons? Did you have a support system? Your family who was there for you, but wasn't going to baby you.
Right. Exactly.
Get after it.
Yeah.
A lot do, but it's all up to the person.
That's it. I'm 100% with you, and I think some athletes get it later, or some may get it earlier, but it's still instilled in them, even though they might not just be aware that it's instilled in them.
I'll tell you, great coaches don't get the credit they deserve.
I'm with you 100% with you.
They do not get it. They don't get the because it's a. I mean, they had football. There's how many guys on the team? 70?
No, 85 dressing.
Yeah.
It's probably 100 and something going through spring ball. So
you know, and they're planting seeds in these kids' lives. You know what I mean? And you know, and I was fortunate enough to have a great one who would wrap baseball back to life, and he talked to us about life. You know, and is it really necessary to be roaming the streets at 3 a.m.? Probably nothing good out there, you know, and you know, we all did
That's what I'm saying. Nothing good happened at 12 o'clock. That's it.
You know, did we do it? Yeah, we were out there.
Of course.
But you look back now, and Coach Foreman was right.
Yeah. No, nothing. And to this day, now, when I think about 12 o'clock, I'm like, it's pointless of me even going out.
Nothing good happens.
Nothing good happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That wisdom, you're right, it didn't stick with you. So let me ask you this, Mark. I know clearly you made a great transition, but before we get into what you do now, if there was a book or a curriculum out there or a course you could have taught that said, hey, this is going to teach you how to do this, this, and this once you transition, so you don't have to go learn this the hard way. Yep. Or you can read this book and it's going to teach you this, this, and this, so you don't have to learn this the hard way after sports. If there was a book out there, what are some things you would have want covered in that book that you could have picked up and read that would have helped you transition easier? Not to say that yours wasn't as good as it could have been, but that would have made your transition after sports easier for you.
Yeah, it would have helped, you know, the learning curve. It takes you a few years to realize that some of those things you were doing as a student athlete that was on your regimen or your schedule that was set up for you, it takes you sometimes a couple of years to go, wait, that's why we were doing that.
Boom.
You know, and tie in the pieces on, you know, when you're running, you know, like I just said heels, or you're running, you know, all four-legged, you know. When in the world are you ever going to run on all fours?
Never.
You never did it again?
Never did it again.
But what it was teaching you is your mind is so powerful. And your body's going to tell you to quit, but you got to have your mind to tell you, hey, keep going.
Yep.
Because it happens in the real world when you're faced up again, you know, in the world, it's called sales, that's what I did, you know, and you get that 15th no. Well, how do you go from within and tell your mind, hey, we're not done yet, you know, and keep going? But if there was a way to say, hey, this is where this correlates, and this is where this correlates, to be able to put the pieces together, to know that you have that within you, because you have it in there, but sometimes you don't know exactly where to apply it.
Yes.
And so, as a student athlete, when you come out, you don't even realize how many values you have.
Absolutely.
You don't even realize how many characteristics and strengths you have that can be applied.
Yes, sir.
If you knew them before you went into an interview, you get that job
every single time.
yeah.
Every single time.
But you know what? A lot of times when you're going in an interview, you don't even know. You don't know how to articulate
what the intangibles that the game done taught you.
Correct. And you know, and as I've been, you know, in my career, I've realized, man, I know why they value a student athlete so much in the workplace.
Y'all are valuable.
You have another level that you can go to because you've been going to it for so long.
And it's normal to you, but you don't even think about it.
Yeah, that's it.
That is awesome. So before we get to what you do now, you said something, and that's the whole goal or the Sports Life Business curriculum and the book, is to show you those intangible traits and characteristics that you learn throughout sports.
It's priceless.
Yeah, it's priceless. And most of the time, we overlook it because it's so normal to us. But in the workplace or the world, those are things that they look for, strive to have, and want, and look for in a person, and we don't even know we got those intangibles. Correct. That we're bringing them to the table.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, you know, when you're playing a sport in college, all of those folks around you have that too.
Very true.
You guys are all very valuable.
Very true.
So it can seem normal.
Yeah.
For everybody to have that trait. Well, that ain't normal.
It ain't normal.
People aren't bred that way.
You just said something.
And you realize that once you get in the workplace that, okay, so me going the extra mile, you know, that ain't what people do.
Right, that ain't what people do.
It's 5. I gotta go.
Exactly.
I gotta go.
Hey, you're just warming up. You're just warming up.
I'm getting lathered up.
That is very true. That's strong. I hope